I'm Ellen.
And I'm Luke. Welcome to Show of the Weekend.
We're back on the together again. Oh, it's been so long.
So long.
I hear you've been travelling around the world with Andy.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome to Sweden. I'm here with Luke.
Hey.
We're in Arvidsjaur in the north of the country. We've just driven about an hour north out of the country. We're going to drive these cars on some ice. It's going to be lit, right, Luke?
Yes.
Yeah. Drifting, continuing to drift, and then slaloming out of the corner.
Oh.
Maintain control.
Okay, right. Okay guys, that was our first day of ice driving. It was amazing. Just pulling off those moves on the ice. The handling out there is incredible, right Andy?
Yeah, the snow is really calls to you, doesn't it?
Yeah. Some of those drifts though, they were mad, right? Mad drifts.
Yes. Mad.
Andy, I think we should stay with the car. Andy. Andy. I got away from Luke. I can't trust him. I think he's a thing. Like in the movie The Thing. It's around here somewhere.
Wait, is he still there?
I think, in a way, Andy was always there and always will be there. But when we left, he said something about having my scent, so I guess he'll find his way back in the end. I'm not really sure.
Well, it's good. It's good to have you back, buddy. Really, really happy to have you back.
Show of the weekend, show of the weekend, show of the weekend, show of the weekend, show of the weekend.
So, Luke, what have you been up to? We've not seen each other, so we need to catch up.
We need to catch up. What have you been doing? I've been playing Project Cars 2, which is a racing simulator game. Now, I like racing games because they're fun and they're not necessarily like real driving, which is boring and involves traffic lights and roundabouts and the limitations of a physical vehicle. I like how in GTA you can steer the car in midair. That's good
I
as
like
well.
That. Defy physics, yeah.
So going into Project Cars 2, I was kind of ready to not enjoy it at all. And I'll be honest, it was no like burnout style takedowns or something. But I felt like I was getting a little glimpse into the mindset of someone who enjoys hypercar realism. Mike is in my peripheral vision now, and his eyes are really boring into me. He said he's waiting for me to slip up, and then he's going to get me. So the biggest new thing in the game, in Project Cars 2, seems to be the changes they made to the environment. I know what you're thinking. That's not even to do with the car. Who cares?
I care.
Mike cares. In racing games, like, you know, when it rains and stuff like that, and it sometimes makes your car go a bit sort of slippery.
You mean there's less traction?
Yes. Yeah, your drivetrain gets all...
No.
No.
What's that got to do with weather?
What's the word? Yeah, to talk about the
What's it got to do with weather? Mike, you've got a lot to learn. In the game, when it rains, the water isn't just a cosmetic effect. It kind of like floods up the actual course, and the water interacts with the other elements that are around there. So,
Okay.
like, if hypothetically you're quite bad at the game and your car doesn't stay on the track where it's supposed to be on, and you sort of skid out into the mud and track some mud back onto the racetrack, then it'll sort of dry there and mingle with the water and go all gross, and then the sun will come out and that'll all dry, and you know, it's more realistic. I did some driving tutorial, if you like.
Right.
I got someone who's an actual professional race car driver to sort of teach me a little bit about the principles of driving. It's an awful lot about lines.
There's a few kind of games now that have a mode where there's a perfect line for you to follow.
Yes.
To go around. So like I've learnt that, and I've been doing it all wrong for years. It's very intricate, and I respect Mike for all his knowledge on it.
There's a lot more
Quite like
focus
it.
on ice driving in this game, even though ice driving is really hard, and it's way better to drive on a regular road. Again, I didn't really feel like I completely clicked and got it. I didn't feel like, yes, this is the only racing game I ever want to play again, but I did get a little bit, yeah, as I said, a window into the mindset. I was like, I can see how you might pick up a game and just be totally enthralled by the realism of it. I also played the game in VR, in a, what do you call it, Mike? Where your legs are like this and your arms are like this?
Like a racing seat.
Yeah, and it kind of went around on pistons, like.
Like a motion simulator.
Yeah, it was like. Psh, psh, psh. What do you call that?
Well, they call them a D-box. But
A D-box.
A motion simulator. A D-box.
I have to say that was extremely convincing. It's one of the best
Yeah.
best VR experiences I've had, because it was all coming together. We've talked before about how VR works best when you are
Just sat
in the
still,
game.
yeah.
When you are in the fiction of the game, stationary, and obviously in a car, you're just sort of sat there, and yeah, just getting the force feedback on the wheel. Obviously, it didn't make me any better at the actual driving. I was still slamming into every corner and things. There was no realistic damage on. The D-box doesn't do realistic damage to the people, and that I have to say was extremely cool.
No car. Ooh.
So I can imagine if you are super into racing sims, so much so that you buy all the extra peripheral stuff. If you have a VR, if you have a wheel. Mike, do you have a wheel?
Yes.
You know what a wheel is, I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
It made a huge difference just adding on more and more of that immersive technology, and by the end I was like, oh god, I'm actually driving. I suddenly felt a huge amount of responsibility, as you should do when you're actually driving. So I thought it was pretty cool. It's not coming out for ages and ages and ages. It's not coming out to
Yeah.
like the end of the year.
Right.
So we were playing on a really early build, but yeah, it was cool, it was fun. Anyway, what have you been playing on?
Well, I've still been playing Dishonored 2, but
Dishonored
since
2?
I talked everyone's ears off about it last week with Jane, and I also don't want to go too far into spoiler territory as well. I'm going to instead talk about something I've been watching, which is Gotham.
Is that allowed?
that
Go for a
allowed?
referee's decision on this.
I talked about the Assassin's Creed movie, and I'm going to talk
yeah,
about another nerdy thing that I really enjoyed, which is Gotham.
Don't ever come back to Gotham.
So Gotham's the Batman show.
Gotham is the Batman show, which basically it kicks off. Like the first scene is the Waynes getting murdered. Instead of following Bruce, which it does follow Bruce a little bit, he's kind of like a sideline story, but it's mainly focusing around Jim Gordon, who becomes Commissioner Gordon when Batman is a thing. It's really interesting, like watching him as a detective, trying to solve all these weird things that are happening in Gotham. I've actually made notes because I want to like kind of give shout outs to the cast members, because they have cast it really well. The main antagonists are all of the mobsters. So you've got kind of the two big mobsters are Falcone. He's like the guy that secretly runs everything. Jim Gordon has just joined the GCPD.
Sure.
And like he finds out about all of this stuff happening with like Falcone is actually running everything and has links with the police and blah, blah, blah.
The city's sick. Sick in a way I hadn't realized.
So he's like, it's his job. He's like, I'm gonna take down corruption in Gotham and make it a better place. And so one of the people that he's against is Falcone, who is played by John Doman. And he's like this kind of really cool, calm, older mafiosa type guy who's just like, yeah, run things. I don't see you as a huge enemy. You just be on my side, it's fine. The other kind of big boss that his rival is Maroni, who's played by David Zayas, who is in Dexter. So he's like
Wait, who is he in Dexter?
He's the guy who wears the Hawaiian shirts and the hat, who's like really lovely. And
What's his name?
so good.
What's his name in Dexter?
I can't think of. Do you want me to Google it? I can see it's hurting me.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to continue with the show until we find this out.
Angel
Batista.
There we go. We got it. We got
there.
there. One of the kind of like sub bosses that you follow quite a lot is a new character. Like, she's never been in the comics or anything, but she's brilliant. And it's a character called Fish Mooney. She's played by Jada Pinkett Smith.
Fish Mooney.
And
That's an amazing name.
She's so great.
I am gonna kill that old man with my bare hands and my teeth.
She's one of these characters that whenever she comes on screen, I'm like, what's she gonna do next? Sometimes she can just be really cool, calm and collected, and then sometimes she does something you're like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Every good show needs that one character who, whenever they're on screen, you're like,
yeah.
And do something crazy.
Do it. Through her, we find kind of the origin story of the Penguin, because her sidekick, like her, not a sidekick, but like one of her umbrella guy, that's where Penguin gets the umbrella thing from. He's the guy that holds the umbrella for her to make sure she doesn't get wet and stuff like that.
And
like,
Penguin sees it and he's like, that's my whole deal.
Well, he like, as you're seeing like the rise of Penguin, you know how in kind of a lot of the comics and the films, the question is asked, like, do these people exist because of Batman?
Oh yeah.
So it's like, is Batman the cause or the cure? In Gotham, it basically says, nah, they were all mad beforehand.
Okay.
And they were all trying to destroy the world.
Sure.
And Batman's absolutely totally cool. Like, he didn't cause any of this. So you meet the Penguin, who's played, I spoke about last week, he's in Dishonored 2 as the Outsider. And he's played by Robin Lord Taylor, who is brilliant. Like, he plays him with, like such kind of,
there's a fist clench of
it's like there's this nervousness to him, but then also
a certain penguinness to him.
Yeah, you see that he's got a real dark side, and when he goes on his, like, shows his dark side, you're just like, oh my god.
Gotham needs me, I'm its future. You're its future, then Gotham is in big trouble. Yes, it is.
Does he walk around with an egg on his feet?
No, but you find out where he gets the limp. Which is
dropped his egg on his toes.
You find Edward Nigma, aka Enigma,
yes.
Riddler. At this point, at the beginning, he's working for the GCPD. He's like their kind of problem solver.
He's their riddles man.
Well, yeah, kind of. Like,
every department needs a riddles man.
He's the guy that they go, oh, could you go and like find this and have a look into this? And he does all their chemistry and stuff. He's just like a brainiac for them that they just keep turning to.
Do you reckon he ever comes in and he's like, any riddles? And they're like, just stabbings. As usual. Any of them got a scavenger hunt series of clues?
Yeah, no.
Okay, well.
He's just a completely innocent character to begin with, and it's not until kind of later that his dark side, you like, cool. Something happens and then you go, oh, this is the thing that made him the Riddler, that started it all off. He's played by a guy called Corey Michael Smith, who's so good. And then also another shout out, because it's kind of to do with like comparing a recent film, Cameron Monaghan, who plays Jerome. Now Jerome, I think he's basically being lined up to be the Joker. He's got the scary laugh.
How far through the show are you, and how many seasons have there been? Will people who've watched it all the way know whether or not that comes true?
Well, some people will know. I'm like kind of near the beginning of season 2, but he's brilliant.
A little to the right. Now that's a headline.
If any of you went and saw Suicide Squad and were really upset...
You're not saying he's better than Jared.
Yes! He's miles better! Before he's even called the Joker, you're like, oh my god. like you have no guarantee that it is him. Like, because with all these characters, it's kind of obviously they're going to be, but they don't say it outright. You know, it's like they're gradually becoming characters. That could be one of the best Joker performances that I've seen, at least like kind of like origin story type things.
Cool.
He's really, really, really good. Basically, if you like the Marvel TV series, you'll like Gotham. I know there's like rivalry between DC and Marvel, but we love them all, really. But it's a great series. I love the kind of the feel of, they've got the feel of Gotham. I'm big into kind of like crime solving dramas and murder mysteries, and there's all of that in this, but it's with like random like Batman antagonists, and you kind of see all the origin stories of some of those antagonists. It's just really good.
You've convinced me. I'll give it a shot.
Good. Watch it. Go watch it.
So Ellen, Nioh, the newest game from Team Ninja, the folks behind Ninja Gaiden, is out this week on PS4. It's about samurai smashing rock-hard supernatural baddies, and it's no secret that it's heavily inspired by the combat mechanics of Dark Souls. Ellen, are you ready for a quiz that will drive straight to the heart of everything that this game is about?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Question 1.
You've not quizzed anyone in a long time.
No, the last time I was...
You got quizzed.
Last time I got quizzed was when...
You got Ellen as well.
Yeah,
I love that that's a thing now.
I know you love that it's a thing. Question 1. In Nioh, you'll wield many weapons in your demon squashing quest. This is an easy one to start with. If you had to battle demons, what would be your weapon of choice? Sword, spear, axe, bow, or kusarigama, which is the thing, it's like a sickle, and then it's got a chain on it, and there's a ball on the chain, so you hold the sickle and spin the chain.
Bow and arrow.
Bow. Didn't have you down for a ranged sort of person.
Very much a
Pictures you more of a kind of
far
like...
away.
Show me your arrow mime. I want to judge how good a bowman you would be based on your mime.
Okay.
Nice.
I just... Oh.
Ellen, next question. Nioh is, by design, a very difficult game. I said it. It's fine. Ellen, what was the first game you played that you thought, oh boy, I'm not sure I can finish this? What was your first memory of a rock-hard game?
I know one. Broken Sword. Shadow of the Templars.
Hard in a different way.
Oh, yeah. Also, going back before that, is Discworld. The PC game.
That was crazy.
That was ridiculously hard, and I played that with my sister when I was like 7, and we'd always get to do it where we saw the dragon on the top of the spire, and then...
A bit slippery, is it?
It's fine, I assure you.
Maybe you'd better just spit on your hands.
That's going to make it even slippier, isn't it?
It might be worth a try.
It's ridiculous, like the puzzles that you go through, like we managed to work out that, oh, you give the librarian a banana because he's an orangutan. It's really tricky, and then Broken Sword is the same.
Did you ever play or have Myst with a Y?
Yeah.
I know of it though.
That game.
Great game.
I did not know the first thing to do. I could walk around on the Myst bit and be like, yeah, I'm in the world of Myst.
It's such a dad game, that game. It's like the game my dad loved the most of any game.
I think he bought a whiteboard.
Oh my god.
It's like, son, I've cracked it. And you're like, Dad?
My dad didn't play Myst. He got himself an Xbox 360 so he could watch Netflix, and me and my sister bought him some video games. I got him Batman Arkham Asylum. And we got him some stuff to be like fairly easy introductory games, because, you know, they're fairly self-explanatory. You'd think about how to play them.
Sure.
And he was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. The main games that I used to play years ago were like, you are in a room, what do you do next?
Install
Look
Myst.
left. So I'd say like the hardest games that I played are like kind of pointing, like ones that I went, no, I can't, I have to finish, are like the point and click adventure games from the 90s that I used to play.
In Nioh, you can summon guardian spirits, which are ghostly animals that combine your health and stamina into a single meter and confer various stat boosts. In a combat situation, Ellen, which animal would you most like to absorb the statistical traits of?
I really like cats, so it'd probably be a cat of some
Yeah, but you
form.
don't get a cat. You just get some of the stat bonuses of a cat. So like better hearing, better vision, susceptible to catnip and loud noises.
Enjoys playing with string.
Yeah. Bad guy just rolls some yarn in front of you and you're like, eh. I've missed this. Okay.
Right.
So is that cat off the table? Cat off the table.
You're not allowed on the table.
You're allowed to say we eat up here.
I think like cats are very sure-footed. Usually, if they're not, it's very funny as well. So if I do fall over, it'll be funny. I've got very good eyesight.
You're still pitching cat then?
I think cat, like probably not like a house cat, like like probably something more like a lynx or leopard, one of those kind of very solitary ones. That's like,
I think tortoise. It's slow. Imagine getting the stat bonuses for tortoise. It'd be amazing. It'd be like plus 50 lifespan, plus 1 million resistance to
Cats
being
have 9
kicked.
lives though.
Yes, they do.
Win.
Yes, they do. Nioh is set in the year 1600 in Japan. If hero William, yes, the hero of Nioh is called William. If hero William had decided to sack in the demon killing job, what emerging profession could he have turned to for a living instead?
Like, instead of being a samurai,
Yeah.
I would go for something like cooking.
It was something that was an actual emerging profession in 1600 in feudal Japan, if that helps you.
So,
Do you know the history of professions in feudal Japan? If you were a samurai
If I was a samurai.
and you're like, nothing to kill right now,
Yeah.
how could you apply those skills very broadly?
Because you use your like samurai sword to like chop things up in like.
Yeah? What if you don't have the sword?
restaurateur,
What if,
don't
in
have
fact,
the
you're wearing
sword.
almost nothing?
Where is this going?
Do you give up?
Yeah.
Sumo wrestling became a professional sport in 1600.
Oh.
According to the Wikipedia page for the year 1600. Yeah, it was in early Edo, Japan, which I think was from 1603 onwards. Yeah, that's so. And there was lots of samurais did it in the early days, apparently, because you're sort of hanging around town, there's no one to slice,
Yeah.
but there are people to push
Yeah.
out of circles.
Yeah.
You thought you were wasting time on YouTube, but you've learned something.
This is how we trick you into
This
learning.
is how we trick you into learning. One of Nioh's key mechanics is the Kai pulse, whereby pressing R1 at a precise moment during a battle. This is the weirdest question. I wrote this on the train on the way here, but I'm gonna push on with it. Pressing R1 at a precise moment during a battle will rapidly refill your stamina bar. Ellen, if you could boost anything by blinking your eyes at the exact moment you open a door, what would you choose to boost? What I was trying to do here with this question was try to sort of like find a real world analogy for that mechanic in the game whereby you press the button at the right time and it boosts your stamina. But obviously we're not in combat situations very often. We open doors a lot though, and we can blink immediately and whenever we want, right? Try it at home. You'll find you may find you can't. Imagine like every time you walk through a door, as long as you perfectly, down to the millisecond, blink at the right time, something gets boosted. What would you choose to be boosted?
I've missed you. This is great. I mean, if you're going into like a social situation, it'd be good to have like a boost in charisma. So if you're going to a party,
yeah.
just be like, I'm immediately the most charming person in the room.
Stand in front of the door to the house party for a minute and be like, ooh, and we're in. Yeah, sure.
Hey, social situation.
Hello!
What happens if you mess up the timing loop?
Well, you get, there's no
fall
reward.
over and
You just
you're the joke
fall
of the
through the door
party.
into the punch. Charisma's a good one though.
Yeah, it's like so social situation, charisma.
Fullness, I was thinking. So you're never hungry. Like if you're hungry, you could.
But I like food. I like
Yeah.
the whole eating food thing is a good, like tasty things. It's great.
They boost my bank balance.
Yeah. Let's say a $5. Let's say you get the timing perfect. A $5 every time you go through a door and nail the
Every time you do it,
timing.
you're practicing the timing and you're getting better at it. So
Yes, you
you'll
are.
be completely loaded.
Well, how many doors do you go through a day?
I could go through the same one multiple times, though, presumably.
You could, yes. So, yeah. You could exactly.
Either the charisma or money. That's
Charisma or money.
how the world works.
And isn't that just an insight into Ellen's mind? Well, I would boost medicines to the developing world.
It's a personal stat. You can't stop.
Okay, Ellen, well, that was my last question.
Oh,
so
great.
I think we've really, as usual, got to the core of the game that we're talking about.
Yeah.
If you want to try Nioh, it came out earlier this week on PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's find out what you guys have been saying in the comments. This week, Team Oxbox wriggled out of their tank to play Octodad on PS4.
Oh my god, you ran down to get the cake.
I'm practicing my dance moves for later.
Stop doing a hurricane kick.
Windmill.
Caitlin RC1 says, hey, do you know what an octopus wears on a cold day? A coat of arms!
Luke, there weren't that many ha-ha-has in the comment.
Well, I'm a sucker for octopus puns.
Don't you mean octopuns? Meanwhile, we looked at some of gaming's most terrible mentors, ones who seriously fail to live up to the promise of a truly great teacher. Mentors are supposed to be wise, Gandalf-like figures who teach you your skills and set you on the path to defeat your enemies and achieve your goals. Everything's Better from Yorkshire says, Gandalf's your example of a good mentor. He doesn't teach anyone, tells them to meet him somewhere and doesn't show up, then turns up again and falls off a cliff.
And he gives Pippin a hard time for looking at the Palantir instead of just explaining in the first place what it actually does. Hang on, is Gandalf mean?
No, I'm sure he's
Anyway, commenter Bainbow enjoyed hearing Andy and Jane chip in with their least favourite mentor figures, saying, I love it when the veteran Oxbox team appear on this channel. I'm sure they're great mentors for Outside Xtra, right?
Definitely. In fact, Mike says I'm almost ready to graduate from stealth school. I just need one more undetected kill.
Oh, sorry, is this all right, Ellen?
What?
My body language, I'm just checking it meets your high standards.
I'm going to cross my legs that way because I've realised if I do that's very bad body language.
Is it?
Yeah. That means, hello, I'd like to talk to you.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'm reading mild hunger and slight distractedness.
Well, it's hard to stay focused when Mike's social life is happening in all of our periphery.
What is your go-to 80s tune that you sing in karaoke and you hope is in Yakuza 0 for you to sing along to?
Mike got a text message there.
Sorry.
So unprofessional.
I know, Jane had a comb through Mike's contract and she thinks it might be a disciplinary offence.
I wouldn't necessarily take Jane's legal advice.
You should always be polite to people who hold your life in their hands. Isn't that right, Ellen? That was such a weird death threat. I'm on camera. It'll be very hard to defend in court if I do murder anyone. It's basically a confession, right?
Well, I guess we'll let Mike off just this once. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. It's been great having the two of us back on the sofa again. And do be sure to give us a like if you enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments what you thought. And subscribe if you haven't already, because we make loads of cool videos.
Yes, we do. And don't forget, guys, if you happen to be around London on the 1st of April, we will be doing a meet and greet at Rezzed, which is a really cool game show, lots of awesome indie games that you can play, and we will be there, so you can come say hello on that date. Again, that's the 1st of April. If you want to buy tickets, you can do at the link on screen.
Yeah, anyway, in the meantime, I'm going to complete some stealth training to become Mike's stealth apprentice.
Ellen, I can literally see you. There is a camera filming you. This is not a stealth maneuver.
A star!